in Mumbai, India in 1985. Dr. Mandan Kataria, along with 4 friends, made a discovery. Laughing together is joyful. Now, it might not sound like a monumental or even original discovery, but it changed Dr. Kantaria's life. He found laughing with others to be so joyful that he gave up his medical practice and dedicated his life to sharing laughter. He combined laughing yoga practices with the yoga that he learned as a child and began to study the science of laughing, the physical and psychological effects. But he really did all of this because he wanted to continue to laugh, to share his joy with others, and have their joy shared with him. And from what 5 people started back in 1985, there are now thousands of Laughter Yoga International clubs in over 116 countries and growing. Dr. Kataria, along with hundreds of thousands of people, are bringing joy to the world. Right now, if you think about the time zone thing and the way the planet's turning, there are people intentionally laughing together at this moment. So welcome to Mountain Vista Unitarian Universalist, where we join them. I'm Reverend Matthew, and laughing with others around the globe and discovering how laughter brings joy here among us at Mountain Vista. Now, some of you might have noticed we've changed the seating here in our sanctuary. Anybody notice that? We did this purposefully because in order to enjoy laughter yoga, we have to be able to see one another. And so we're inviting those online to turn on their cameras and to keep them on, if you would, throughout the service. It's one way we'll come back to you at various times. Hello, hello, good to see you all. It's a way that we can recognize who is here among us, and we can begin to share in joy. And if we all face the camera at this moment, ours is back here, in the places that we're in and wave, we begin to get a sense of who is gathering this morning and feel the joy that we already share. You see, we're fond of saying, welcome, we are better together. But that's just another way of saying that we come to be joyful together. And we can experience that through laughter. So who would like to try that this morning? Okay, it's all right to be a little shy about it. It's all right. We'll warm you up. Well, first thing we're going to do is gently rest the pads of our hands together. You can even warm them up a little bit if they're cold. Just gently rest the fingers and the palms, and then Dr. Kataria is going to tell us what's next. Just keep your hands ready. Yep.
Since laughter yoga originated from India, we always do namaste laughter. And we look into the eyes and just laugh.
Very good, very good. Yay! You see, that's how we end all of the laughter yoga exercises. You can join me if you'd like. Very good, yay! And we do that to remind us that laughter yoga is all about play. And today we're starting that month-long exploration of play as a spiritual practice here in our Sunday services. We'll be thinking about play. We'll be reminiscing about those times we have been playful. And today, in this multi-generational service, even though there aren't any kids here in the building with us, we will be laughing and singing and playing together. And so let's light our chalice, the symbol of our faith tradition, and begin our service. It is good and it is joyful to be together. The Reverend Leslie Takahashi writes, "On the brink, all that we have ever loved, all that we have ever been, stands with us on the brink of all we aspire to create. A deeper peace, a larger love, a more embracing hope, a deeper joy that in this life we share." Joy to the World is a hymn originally crafted about, written, it is 15th century Christian beliefs sorrow would soon disappear and a new world, a world of joy, would arrive. Today, we sing Joy to the World, a traditional Christmas song. Of course, at Christmas, we're going to do it today. We recognize it as the most popular printed Christmas song ever. It's the song celebrating the coming of the Christ child, born on Christmas Day to bring joy to a world of conflict, a world that desperately needs joy. And through its original intention or our present day interpretation, this song directs us to a joy big enough to hold peace in a world of war, love in a world of hate, and hope in the face of all despair. I invite you to rise in body or in spirit and sing together Joy to the World. The words will be projected. Please be seated. Laughter yoga is called laughter yoga because, as it says in my laughter yoga guidebook, it combines laughter exercises with yoga breathing. It brings more oxygen to the body and the brain, which makes one feel more energetic and healthy. One breathing practice that we can do at any time this morning while we're sharing these laughter yoga exercises is this. It's just breathing in, and you bring your arms, and then you exhale. A little bit slower than you brought in. One last time. And this is one way that you can regulate your own laughter And instead of just laughing and laughing and laughing and getting out of breath, you begin to breathe in when your body requires, and then return to laughing when you feel like it. Now, I learned that practice and all about laughter yoga from Dr. Katarian during the pandemic. Remember that? Back when we were all afraid to even breathe together. The whole world shut down. And we couldn't be in community. It was kind of like the end of the world. And while we are still concerned about viruses, we've used science and community to find ways to be safer and return to gathering together. But back in the pandemic, I found Dr. Kataria's book, Laughter Yoga, and was so interested in sharing in the joy he described that I went online and I found his organization, Laughter Yoga International, and I enrolled in online courses with him. I had to get up at 5:30 in the morning so that I could be on Zoom calls with him at 8:30 at night in India. And there were students just like me from all around the world, Japan and Singapore and Europe and the Falkland Islands and other places in South America. And we learned that when we initiate laughter in an entire group, even on Zoom, with eye contact and childlike playfulness, it soon turns into real and contagious laughter. That we could be in joyful community no matter where we were in the world, just by laughing together. And if you want to try this with me, you can. This exercise is called Fake It Till You Make It. It's one of the things Dr. Kataria has discovered is that our bodies cannot tell the difference between fake laughter, and real, genuine, spontaneous laughter. And so this exercise invites you to begin with a fake laugh. Just pick one. And then, by looking around, by looking online, by looking at the camera, we can begin to see what happens to that fake laughter that we're sharing. All right, on 3. 1, 2, 3. Very good, very good. Yay! Thank you. Next, Chris is going to tell us a little bit about other types of laughter.
Well, pretty much.
There we go. Things always work better when you turn them on. It's fun to listen because laughter and the contagion of laughter is something people have been playing with and working with for many, many years, including from the invention of recorded sound in the middle of the 19th century into the rise of the home gramophone in the first few decades of the 20th century. People looked at these things and had no idea what to do with them. So in addition to the obvious uses of music and dance records and other kinds of things, record labels and gramophone manufacturers were putting out all kinds of material, including sound effects. There's some interesting records that include the bombs and shells from the battlefields of World War I and the horns of the big ocean liners, speeches and spoken word content from politicians and clergy and authors and so forth, and of course, novelty songs of all kinds, including some from the racially suspect pool of minstrel songs and other material. And these records were all the rage. So into this world in 1922 came a record that starts with a lone cornet player playing a sentimental tune who gets interrupted by a woman laughing. Now, what she's laughing at, we really don't know, but then another gentleman joins in the fun, and what starts as sounding fairly fake becomes pretty genuine, especially as the cornet player tries to resume his sentimental tune, and because of his own laughter, you know how hard it is to play a wind instrument when you're laughing? It's difficult, let me tell you. This goes on for about 2.5 minutes, and it's known as the OK Laughing record. Now, this was put out by OK Records, OKEH, a record label started by Otto Karl Erich Heinemann. I didn't know that till I started looking this up. OK Records is important. It started in 1918, and it was ultimately sold to Columbia Records in 1926. It's an important record label at the time because they did a lot of what they called race and ethnic records, including some of the first recordings of Duke Ellington, and a lot of other stuff that frankly was just not getting recorded, things aimed at a, let's just say politely, non-white audience. For years, though, nobody knew where the recording came from or who the performers were. Then came the internet. Some clever people searching in archives found out that the cornet soloist is Felix Silbers. The first laughing voice is opera singer Lucy Bernardo, and the second laughing voice is Otto Rathke, also another opera singer, recorded in Germany in 1920. So thanks to clever internet people for finding that. So the German recording was leased OK, released in New York in 1922, and it was an enormous hit. They wore out several sets of metal stampers, the parts that they used to actually mold the records. It was remastered several times to make more, and accounting is sketchy, and this is way before the world of Your Hit Parade or the Billboard Top 100. So we don't really know for sure, but there's some significant evidence to suggest that this was the very first piece of recorded sound to sell more than 1 million copies. We're not sure. It's kind of lost in history. Now, that's at a time when a single shellac record cost 75 cents. OK Records sold for 75 cents, which in equivalent money today is more than $12. So it made a lot of money. And of course, like anything in the entertainment industry that makes a lot of money, it spawned sequels, imitators. There's the OK Crying record. All this stuff is available online, so it's really fun, funny, weird to go look it up. There's tributes, there's rip-offs, and it showed up in a whole slew of other media, including cartoons and movies and eventually television. And some of you have probably heard it through the work of a musicologist and announcer Barry Hansen. He's better known as Dr. Demento. This has been one of his signature records for many, many years. So there's also a whole world of records that were politely called race records and impolitely called many other things that included similar content. They were a fad into themselves. I'm not going to get into them this morning. I don't have time to do it justice, but I have good news for those of you who like to hear me talk like this. Watch the newsletter. There's a pleasant surprise coming. The record's real magic, though, is the contagious effect of the performer's laughter. Now, different people hear different things. Some people have thought that maybe it sounds a little sinister, but the effect is the same. The effect of the mirror neurons in our brain, which I suspect we'll be hearing a good bit more of later on in the service. The effect of those mirror neurons is well documented now. So later radio and television producers learned that the magic of filming in front of live studio audiences was a real thing. It's hard to do comedy in an empty room facing a camera with no audience response. Go ask any of the comedians who did live shows on streaming during the pandemic. Even later, some unscrupulous producers layered the sound of recorded laughter into soundtracks on situation comedies, and the laugh track was born. It's a direct result of this contagious effect. Let's give this a listen now. This is the 1922 original OK Laughing record. Felix Silbers on cornet with Lucy Bernardo and Otto Rathke.
So some of laughter yoga comes directly from yoga postures. And one of them we know, which is namaste. But mountain pose is, for those of you who are familiar with yoga, is where you simply raise namaste up. We will laugh as we come back down. We'll do that 3 times, and then very good, yay. All right? All right, if you're ready to join me, put your hands together. We'll breathe in as we go up. And and up. One last time. And up. Very good. Very good. Yay! The next one is reverse mountain. So you put the backs of your hands together. We'll breathe in as we come down. Yep. And then laugh as we come up. All right? So we'll begin up and we'll breathe in. Breathe in and up. Breathe in and up. One last time. Breathe in and up. Very good. Very good. Yay! And the last pose is one of my favorites, and Dr. Kataria is going to introduce it, and we're just going to follow him right into laughing with lion pose.
Pose your hands like paws of a lion, and then you stick your tongue out fully like
Remember to breathe. Very good, very good. Yay! Thank you. I was really waiting for the, yeah. Thank you. Our next is laughter yoga with animals. Now I need 2 suggestions for animals. Just any animal will do, and then we'll turn that into a laughter yoga exercise. So just one animal at this moment. A goat, thank you. So we'll begin with a goat. What's the next one, Dana? Javelina. That's a good challenge. So for a goat, let's have horns. And we'll also nosh on things. Yeah, we can, right? But we're going to laugh as we do it, all right? And you're going to gain some encouragement by continuing to look around the room and look people in the eye and look at the camera and look at the screen, all right? On 3. 1, 2, 3. Remember to breathe if you need to. Very good, very good. Yay! Thank you. And our paired animal with that will be the javelina. This will be the javelina snout. It's going to do the noshing thing because I know they just keep eating my mother-in-law's plants in her front yard. So we're going to do, do they make really pig noises? Yeah, kind of a snort. All right, so a little snorting laughter would go a long way right now. All right, so on 3. 1, 2, 3. Very good. Yay! Thank you. Now Stacy's going to tell us a story.
Actually, Stacy's going to come up in a second and tell a story, but there's a piece in the middle of this story that is for you guys. Now, I don't know if you've done this before, but we can create our own rainstorm. We're going to start in one side of the room, and we're going to start with the sound of the wind, and then a little bit of rain, and the wind comes over here, and then the rain gets a little heavier, and so forth and so on. And I'll lead you through it in the middle of it, but it'll be obvious here in a moment when it's supposed to happen because Stacy's going to tell us a lovely story.
Hi, so my story today is called Noah by Chris Boyce. So Noah was an old man who loved to sing and laugh and to make things with his hands. He especially loved to make mud pies. Noah loved to do these things because he felt closest to his creator when he was created himself. All the people in Noah's village thought he was a fool. Why do you waste your time singing and laughing and making mud pies, they asked. And Noah responded, because it gives me joy. One day, the people saw Noah doing something even stranger than usual. He was building an ark. Noah, they asked, why do you waste your time building an ark when there is no water for miles around? Noah responded, because it gives me joy. On another day, the people saw Noah collecting 2 of every kind of animal and putting them into his ark. They thought Noah had really lost his mind this time. Noah, they asked, why do you waste your time collecting 2 of every animal? And once again, Noah said, because it gives me joy. Finally, one day, it started to rain. Noah gathered his family together, and they all got on board the ark. It rained so hard and for so long, the whole earth was covered with water. It was like the end of the world. As Noah looked out his window of the ark, one of his children came and stood beside him. "Dad, did you know it was going to the flood was coming?" the little girl asked. Noah was quiet for a moment, and then he said, "Not exactly, but I have a theory about life. Life can be pretty tough. Sometimes it can be hard to make it through the day. But if you can do something creative, then you know joy. Rain can fall down and floodwaters rise, but the things that give you joy will make sure you are prepared and keep you afloat."
Thank you both. Laughter yoga is actually a daily spiritual practice. It's a creative way to keep yourself afloat in tough times. I practice it all the time, mostly while I'm driving, for up to 15 minutes a day. So if you ever pull up to a stoplight and you look over and go, "Oh, there's my minister," you know what I'm doing. And I can do that because one of the basic laughter yoga teachings is that laughter yoga is about anything. In fact, it's about everything, as Dr. Kataria is about to tell us, a very, very popular laughter yoga exercise.
Our next exercise is cell phone laughter. Very popular again. Hold your imaginary cell phone and just laugh.
Very good, very good. Yay! And because we can do anything during the day, we can show gratitude to people. So gratitude yoga laughter is another activity. Now, Erin has taught me that you don't just in American Sign Language, you have to stick your thumb out. And if you don't put your thumb out, she will actually shout out, "Put your thumb out," even if it's during service, as she did several months ago. Erin is one of the people on our slate of officers today. Erin and Sally and Karen and Jess and Connie and Summer are people that we're going to be voting on later today to take up leadership positions. So I'm going to start off by expressing gratitude to all of them and laughing while I do it, but expressing gratitude with my thumb out. But we can also express gratitude to our welcomers today, or those giving us hospitality, or even our AV team. We can even just turn to each other and offer gratitude. So if you want to join me on 3, 1, 2, 3. Very good, very good. Yay! I need one more suggestion. Something that you've done today, maybe in preparing to come here or just your regular routine that we can turn into a laughter yoga exercise. Just one thing. Unpacking boxes. Yes, Linda just moved. Yep. Yay! So unpacking boxes, of course, is going to take opening the box, taking things out, putting them where they belong, getting a new box, and continuing to unpack boxes. So this is unpacking boxes, laughter yoga. All righty? On 3. 1, 2, 3. Don't forget to breathe. Very good, very good. Yay! Thank you. Now, in the middle of all of laughter yoga, and I hope you're feeling a little bit more oxygenated, a little bit lighter, perhaps a little more stress-free, we need to make sure that we actually regulate all of that, because we can go too far into laughter. And so one of the actual practices coming directly from yoga is a hatha yoga breathing. So I want to offer us a meditation and invite you to join me in just hatha yoga breathing, and I'll show you how to do that in just a second. And then I'll follow it up with some questions about where it is that you feel joy. So hatha yoga breathing is we extend our arms out in front of us and we just relax the wrists and the fingers. Just let them droop. We'll breathe in and then out. 3 times. All right? A little bit longer on the out breath. If you're ready, on 3. 1, 2, 3. Breathe in. Breathe in. One last time. Breathe in. And where do you feel joy? Where do you feel that happiness that only comes from within? You feel it in your toes, maybe in your legs. Maybe there's a warmth in your belly. Maybe a softness to your shoulders. Maybe it comes as a focus, helping you to perceive and participate in the world in a different way. Where do you feel joy? Where do you feel joy? This joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. This joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. This joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. The world didn't give it, the world can't take it away. Oh, but it tries, doesn't it? The world tries so hard to take away your joy. In a world where success is defined by excess, violence is lifted up as the means to make people safer, where personal responsibility has given way to a blame game, and where our sense of community has atrophied to become, what have you done for me lately? And it just feels like the world is taking my joy. And I don't really feel like there's anything to laugh about. Do you ever feel that way? It's like getting caught up in a storm, a flood of the entire world, or other times just that gray, rainy day. And I feel gloomy and sad and moody. Both storms can lead us to feel alone and isolated, like there is nothing to be joyful about. Back during the pandemic, as I was learning from Dr. Kataria, he said, sometimes you do feel like there is nothing to laugh about. Sometimes, let's laugh at nothing. And that sounds foolish. Well, to adults it does. Doesn't sound foolish to children, because children tend to embody the wisdom of laughter, of singing and dancing, of playing, of bringing joy into the world. On average, children laugh 300 to 400 times a day, and adults, 15. But do you remember? Do you remember back when you laughed more? Can you recall the freedom of bringing your joy into the world? Now, maybe it wasn't so long ago. Maybe it was this morning as you were just getting ready to come here. Maybe it was on the cell phone. Maybe it was showing gratitude to someone. Maybe it was unpacking boxes. Or maybe it was a lifetime ago when you were last free to laugh without the world judging you. Dr. Kataria teaches that joy is an unconditional commitment to be happy from within, despite life's problems. It can easily be triggered by joyful activities like laughing and singing and dancing and playing. It is a purely physical phenomenon, while happiness, it comes from the outside, and it can be taken away. So even when you're going through hard times, he suggests that if you just get involved in joyful activities with others, you will become joyful. You will experience the physiological and psychological impact of joy. It will release certain neurochemicals, the ones that Chris was talking about, in your brain cells. It'll make you feel good. And once you feel good within, then the perception you have of the world, it changes. Laughter yoga is a daily spiritual practice about learning to be joyful, to navigate your own happiness in a much better way. Now, that's all the science that Dr. Kataria has discovered behind what children simply know to be magical, and then as adults we forget. Practice joy, and it can change the way that you feel about the world. Practice joy in community, and it changes us not only individually, but we begin as a community to change the world. So who wants to try that with me? This is laughter yoga magic. It's not magical. The first one is turning oxygen into laughter. That's all it is. And you simply do it by breathing in and then looking around the room. Breathing in, meeting somebody's eyes. Breathing in. Very good. Very good. Yay. Now the next magic with laughter yoga, you just take 2 fingers, and the magic is making it jump. That's it. Sally's given me the eye, and she's our treasurer. She'll be talking later this morning about our finances, and if I tried to pull this, then forget it. This is the magic we're going to do. Okay, we're just going to go back and forth while we laugh on 3. 1, 2, 3. Very good, very good. Yay. Now, the last one is actually invented by a classmate of mine. His name is Gautama. He is from India, but he was living in Singapore at the time. And he saw these 2, and he said, well, we have to have sets of 3. And so the last magic yoga magic is just this. All right? So on 3, we will do thumb magic, okay? It disappears, and then it comes back. On 3, 1, 2, 3. Very good. Yay! Thank you. Our closing sacred song, Over My Head, is a song that comes to us as an African American spiritual. Between the Lines is a book about, it's a companion actually to our gray hymnal, Singing the Living Tradition. And I often use it to discover the background of any sacred song that we're singing. And here's what it says about Over My Head. This is an African American spiritual. Enslaved people here in America fought a constant battle against psychological as well as physical slavery. Spirituals like this one were sung to rejuvenate the spirit and to remind all oppressors that God would eventually set things right. We're going to sing it today with an additional verse at the end, aware of our shared past and reminding us that joy rejuvenates our spirit in the face of troubles and despairs. In this spirit, we work together to set things right. In song and laughter, we find that joy in the hardest, most challenging times. It carries us. Please rise in body or spirit and join your voices together.
There's just 3 notes. You can sing it high, you can sing it low, it does not matter. Over my head, I hear music in the air. Over my head, I hear music in the air. Over my head, I hear music in the air. There must be a God somewhere. Over my head, I hear singing in the air. Over my head, I hear singing in the air. Over my head, I hear singing in the air. There must be a God somewhere. There must be a God somewhere. Over my head, I hear laughter in the air. Over my head, I hear laughter in the air. Over my head, I hear laughter in the air. There must be a God somewhere. There must be a God somewhere.
Thank you. Please be seated. A few closing announcements. As we've been letting you know, our hospitality team is really interested in having more people provide service. And if you'd like to do that, speak to anyone who is currently prepping today. If you can come and help set things up beforehand, you can bring food, or you can stay and help with cleanup afterwards. Your time and talent would be appreciated. Outside of our doors, there is a wooden bowl and a woven basket. As you know, the wooden bowl is a place to put your contributions and gifts to our congregation, and the woven basket is for a partner organization, which is different every month. This month, we are returning to UU Jazz as our partner. Most recently, Janine Gelsinger, the co-executive director, has visited us last Sunday and the Saturday before that. But it is a way for us to participate in their financial needs and keep the justice ministry here in Arizona going among the 12 congregations of Unitarian Universalists that we have here. All of your gifts will be gratefully received and cherished. Next week, we continue our Thoughts on Play with Return of the Chaos Monster. It's going to be looking at monsters in pop culture, as well as their ancient and biblical counterparts, seeking meaning for us today. Our congregational meeting, which is not Returning of the Chaos Monster, so let's get rid of that one, is today. We'll be voting on a slate of officers, next year's budget. We'll be learning about an emerging org chart, and we'll be recognizing with gratitude those who have offered us service this year. If you're staying here, go and get coffee and snacks. Come back and go ahead and check in and get your ballots at the table in the back. If you're online, we're going to have the host walk you through that so that we can recognize your participation, your ability to speak during times that we're asking for comments, and that you're able to vote. So stick with the Zoom host on that. And if you have any questions about that, of course, we're going to have leaders up here preparing things. So just come and approach us, and we'll be glad to answer any of your questions at that time. My final announcement is really a cause for celebration. Theda, who is one of our co-leaders of our Contigo team, Contigo that accompanies families who are seeking asylum through the process of all kinds of wonderful things and challenging things, wrote me this week. Our family received a work permit in the mail unexpectedly this week. Yeah. And it goes on. We verified with the attorney that this means the temporary protected status has been awarded, which is huge. Now, they are still going to go for asylum, and their court case is on July 7th, but the pressure is off. And this is a great joy to announce at the service, and it's a joy to share with all of you. Thank you, Theda. In the times that are hard, and through the storms that will come, through those times that will feel like our worlds are ending, we will seek and we will find joy here. Right now, all over the world, there is intentional laughter. You've joined in it today. In large groups or just between a few, in corporate headquarters and in prisons, in daycare centers and elder care centers, people all around the globe of all backgrounds, all nationalities are speaking a common language of laughter. They're bringing joy to the world that desperately needs it. And here at Mountain Vista, we do the same. We come together, we share our concerns and our sorrow. We really are invested in what goes on in our world, and then we help one another through by finding joy once again. Now, I've been taught that namaste means the light in me bows to the light in you. Or as we practice in laughter yoga, the joy in me bows to the joy in you. So I invite you to join me in one final laughter yoga, a namaste, and we'll laugh while we do it, just like we learned at the beginning. On 3. 1, 2, 3. Very good. Very good. Yeah. Thank you. We extinguish our flame with these words, using our inner lights as it is adapted from the work of Amanda Alice Ulhan. Together, we have enjoyed the warmth and the beauty of laughter, of some stories, and of this flame which represents our community. As our chalice flame is extinguished this morning, we can still remember the glow that is carried with us. We can use our inner lights and this flame to kindle new sparks of joy throughout our lives and out into the world. So may the spirit of joy and togetherness bless each and bless all. Go in peace.
I had the great pleasure this week of asking a question I've never gotten to ask before in my decades of work as a church musician. Reverend Matthew had put "Joy to the World" on the service order. And I scratched my head and went, okay, do you mean the one with Jesus or the one with Jeremiah? I invite you all to rise, dance, clap, sing if you feel so moved, but it starts like this. Not yet, give it a second. This time, and